First and foremost, I want to give all honors, praises, laudations, glories to the Most High Lord God, whose name is Yahweh, to His only begotten Son, whose name is Yahushai, through the Holy Spirit, THaWaRaH ThaRaPaAh, in the Paleo Hebrew, call Halalata, Barakata, Salalata, Kabawadata, THaWaRaH ThaRaPaAh, when Yahweh, Bahasham, Adonai, Yahushai, Bahasham, THaRaPaAh. Shalom, all the elders, Aquanium out on the highways and byways pushing this truth and sincerity, the forefathers, the pastors, preachers coming back in the reincarnation of old to push this truth and sincerity, the living waters, the milk, the meat, the wine, spiritually, metaphysically cleansing oneself by following the law, statutes, and commandments the best of our ability, the true sincere doctrine being rained upon by Yahweh Yahushai on the great man of great millstone, the Zaquanium elders teaching and preaching the truth on the internet, information superhighway, and on the highways and on the byways in truth and sincerity. Shalom. And to the Akyam out on the highways and byways as well, themselves the hopeful elect, the ones that the elders at GMS are looking for, only for the elect male men, 144,000 from a 12 tribe chart, brought to you by the great man of GMS through the Ruach HaKodesh, Yahweh Yahushai. Prayer, fasting, fear of the Most High, following the law, statutes, and abilities to the best of one's commandment, breaking down true doctrine in the Paleo Hebrew and the Koine Greek of the Old and New Testament, and the Apocrypha, THaWaRaH, Zaquanium, also GMS. Brother Sharath coming at you with one more video of THaWaRaH ThaRaPaAh, THaWaRaH ThaRaPaAh, Torah therapy, the therapy of the Torah, the word, literally the pages, literally the letters, literally the points, the doctrine of what is being said of through the words by of Yahweh Yahushua through the Ruach HaKodesh is the only therapy that the hopeful elect male men are going to need in the end times. We don't need food, we don't need water. It's just a crutch, and it's a part of the matrix that's gonna fuck you up. You don't need women, you don't need shit, you don't need materialism, you don't even need a family, because you're gonna get one if you're hopefully elect in the end times or in the millennial reign in the kingdom. So as of right now, all of it is part of the matrix, and all of it can go fucking suck a dick. So once again, Brother Shroth coming at you, telling that one the hopefully elect to wake up, because the end is here. It is not nigh, it is here already, within a couple of months to a year, probably no more than that. The RFID chip MOTB Fang Serpent Strike is going to be available. Not only available, it's going to be mandatory to everyone, and if you don't take it, you're probably going to die of starvation or get killed or put in a concentration camp, and or World War III is going to pop off with Russia coming and putting a foot in America's fucking bitch ass, because they deserve it, because of the goddamn coward bullshit that this godless infant child nation and all of its goddamn Americans live day in and day out. Retarded goddamn folly. So, only for the hopefully elect, only the words of the book, the Old New Testament and Apocrypha, literally the words are what going to keep you alive and feed you metaphysically, metaphorically, spiritually. You're not going to have access or even need actual food or water for shit. Get that through your 144,000th mind, hopefully elect. So my first couple of slides was bread. The first one, not the literal bread. Again, no time, at no place, and in no time in any of these slides that I'm talking about the hopeful elect or metaphysically, metaphorically bread or water, am I literally, physically talking about bread or water. You don't need bread or water literally, physically, if you are part of a hopeful elect. You only need literally, physically, metaphysically, metaphorically Adonai Yahushai, which is the word of Yahweh, which is the walking Torah. So whatever it says, law, statute, commandments, directions, commandments, is what you need to follow so that you can remain and stay alive, and you won't have to look for bread or water. And if you do what you're supposed to do and are commanded, Yahweh Yahushai will give you the bread, the literal physical bread and water, if that's what you need or what's going to be given to you. But you have to depend on Yahushai. So same thing with water. My second slide video was on water, how Yahushai is the water and not actual literal water. So Yahushai through Yahweh is physical, metaphysical spiritual bread, metaphysical spiritual water, and not at all physical literal bread or water. And both of them are tied up to who Yahushai is. He is the walking Torah, the walking physician, the walking healer. So only what he says and does and commands one to do is what's going to keep you alive. Once again, not literal bread and not literal water. Deuteronomy 11:13. And it shall come to pass, if ye shall hearken diligently unto my commandments which I command you this day, to love Allah when Yahweh your Allah Lahayim Adonai Yahushai, and to serve him with all your heart and with all your soul. It doesn't say a goddamn thing about tilling the ground or motherfucking working your ass off for money or for food. It says do the right goddamn thing. Then that I will give you the rain of your land in its due season, the first rain and the latter rain, that thou may gatherest thy corn, thy wine, and thy oil. This is literal corn, literal wine, and literal oil that you can literally consume, and it goes through your stomach and you shit it out when you don't need whatever it is that you didn't need. This is the only way you're going to eat and feed yourself and survive, is if you follow the law, statute, commandments to the best of one's ability, and you don't give a shit about food or water or any of the entities or amenities of this world, women, cars, children, money, what the fuck ever, and you only have your eye on the prize, on the race, in the race to make it to the end times, so that you can either die or not die. But let's all be settled when Yahweh Yahushua breaks through the clouds and the so-called UFOs with the Mala'akim, the angels, to destroy and to save at the same time. Then you can understand and know if you're saved or not. Then you can start thinking about the millennial kingdom and actual eating and food and all that other shit. But what did he say first? And it shall come to pass, if ye shall hearken diligently unto my commandments which I command you to this day, to love Allah when Yahweh your Allah Lahayim Adonai Yahushai, and to serve him with all your heart, with all your soul, that I will give you the rain of your land in its due season, the first rain and the latter rain, that thou mayest gather in thy corn and thy wine and thy oil. And I will send grass in thy fields for thy cattle, that thou mayest eat and be full. Grass so the cattle can eat, then you can eat the cattle. But that's not what he's going to give you if you don't do what? Diligently hearken unto my commandments which I command you. So take heed to yourselves that your hearts be not deceived, and ye turn aside and serve other gods, which is literal food and water. Let me put it right there. This food to serve other gods is food and water first and foremost. Then it's white man, and then it's the woman. And worship them, food, water, white man, the woman. And then I like when Yahweh's wrath will be kindled against you, and he will shut up heaven, and there will be no rain, and that the land yield not her fruit, and lest ye perish quickly from off the good land which I lie when Yahweh Adonai Yahushua giveth you. Therefore shall ye lay up these my words in your heart and in your soul, and bind them for a sign upon your hand, not the RFID chip, not the MOTB. It is words, literal words that you see here in black and white, that are metaphorically, metaphysically transformed into your spiritual head mind, where you think about it and chew it over and let it settle in your little spirit soul, so that you can perform and act whatever you're reading. If you truly understand the sincere doctrine, that you can act and do it, so that then you can be saved, and then you can eat and be happy and merry, only after you've understood the commandments that you have been commanded, and do them. Therefore shall you lay up these words in my heart and in your soul, and bind them for a sign upon your hand, not the RFID chip, not the MOTB, which gives you access to stupid literal food and literal water, and the literal system of white men and women that you do not need, and if you take, we will be destroyed. That there may be as frontlets between your eyes. So you're not going to put, it's going to say, it said a sign upon your hand and frontlets between your eyes. So if you seal your forehead and your right hand, which is to say what you use for power, to write and to scribe, which is power, you use your hand to write letters, and letters is what has power in them. So your hand is power as well. And your clearly the front of your eyes means your brain, and your eyes as well, because that's where you perceive and receive and discern information. Then you don't need an RFID chip and or a Neuralink to go on about your business, i.e. survive and live, because you have the words and the laws, statutes, and commandments that are metaphysically, then literally, spiritually, then physiologically helping to sustain and support your life spiritually first, and then physically, which is what metaphysical means. First in the spirit, first in the physical, then after the physical, which is spiritual. So point is, listen to the commandments or you're gonna fucking die, even if you have food. Matthew 3:9, and think not to say within yourselves, we have Abraham to our father. For I say unto you that Allah Lahayim Adonai when Yahweh Adonai Yahushua is able of these stones to raise up children to Abraham. And think not to say within yourselves, we have Abraham to a father. Don't say that you have food and water. that you're gonna survive off of food and water, or that you have the MOTB mark of the beast, and that you can go buy food and water, and that you can survive without Yahushua, without the law, statutes, commandments. I have physical things that can keep me physically alive, so I don't need your spiritual shit, is pretty much what they're saying to Yahushua. For I say unto you, Yahushua says back, that God, Eliyahu and Yahweh, is able of these stones to raise up children unto Abraham. And he's being literal here. He's not being physical or metaphysical. Hilariously enough, in this one, Yahushua is not speaking in parables. He's being completely literal. He's saying literal stones to be transformed into human beings, to be able to be children of Abraham. He's being literal. A literal stone is metaphysically, spiritually transformed into a literal human. Literally, to be the son, child of Abraham. So if Yahweh can literally take an inanimate object and turn it into a living, sentient being, living and breathing, that's what he did. That's what we are. We're clumps of dirt and clay and water and minerals mixed into one ball that you call a human being. Fat-filled fucking carbon life form is what we call it in fucking academia. Fat-filled carbon life form. If Yahweh can do this, what is not going to stop Yahweh, Yahushua, or the angels from transforming those said stones in the end times before the millennial reign from stones into literal bread? Yahushua said to Satan, I'm not going to turn these stones into bread because you should live off of the words of Yahweh. Well, what if in the end times you're following the law, statutes, commandments to the best of one ability, and you are on day or month 3 of not eating, and in the wilderness or in the city, and you are fixing to start famishing and dying of hunger, and you are one of the hopeful elect? It was not going to take shit for Yahweh Yahushua to transform literal stones, literal pieces of wood, literal pieces of iron, plates and books and toys into literal food. It is not going to be shit. So these people were saying, think not, Yahushua told them, and think not to say within yourselves, we have Abraham for our father. For I say unto you that Eliyahu and Yahweh is able of these stones to raise up children unto Abraham. That's literal, then metaphysical, then back to literal, then spiritual. This is a parable that's wrapped up in literalness. Alright, just for it to be a stumbling block to you niggas who can't understand. Don't go to school. Take academia for fucking a fool. Hate to read, hate to understand, hate to do anything but just jack off and fucking folly. 1 Peter 2:5, and also ye also as lively stones. Stones that are alive. What did I just say? Literal stones that are literally alive. We are made out of fucking the same shit that the stones are made out of. Minerals, fucking dirt, clay, water. Are built up a spiritual house. Literal stones that are alive are building up a spiritual, metaphysical house, and a holy priesthood to offer up spiritual sacrifices acceptable to Eliyahu and Yahweh Adonai, by Adonai Yahushua through his sacrificed blood and raising up again, believing he exists as well as his Father, which name is existence Yahweh. 1 Peter 2:5, ye also, hopefully elect only males, as lively stones are built up a spiritual house and a holy priesthood to offer up spiritual sacrifices acceptable to Eliyahu and Yahweh by Adonai Yahushua. Seeing how my time is digressing and I just did get through these 3 scripts barely, my next video will be a breakdown of about two words, aban, which means stone, and ban, which means sun. And guess what? They're both from the same word, bana, which means to build. So aban, a stone, comes from the word bana, which means to build, and ban, sun, comes from the same goddamn word bana, which means to build. And they're the same thing. But I'll leave you with that. I'll hit you up with Matthew verses chapter 4 verse 3 and 4 to teach you how a sun and the stones are the same. And until then, shalom, akim, study and show yourself approved.